It's that time again for the assault on your ears. Nobody likes to admit is Lower Dorks, a Star Trek Lower Decks podcast. Tonight on our screens is Starbase 80? I'm not asking. I know it's Starbase 80. That was what we watched. It's just, It's written that way. It has, well, and I guess it kind of has the exclamation, so it's more like, Starbase 80, oh, or something like that. I don't know. Either way,
Makes
yes,
sense.
Starbase 80. And in honor of the reframing this episode does of Starbase 80, in our cups, we're giving something a second chance.
We are. And you know what? It's I might as well come clean. We had this grand plan of a Starbase 80 thematic drink, but as usual, life gets in the way. So we went back to an old favorite, and that would be the old smoky mango habanero, because that's just how we are right now. We need to go back to old favorites every once in a while. And, we've had this drink several times. I poured myself a good amount of it. Like we talked about last time, it's not quite as spicy as it was in the olden days, I guess.
Not quite what it once was. Much like Starbase 80, I guess. I'm clutching at straws here. I'm trying to make connections.
You're making it work. But no, I think it's still tasty. It's not quite as spicy as it used to be once upon a time, but, it's still
pretty dang good.
So.
Yep. Still in my top 10.
But shall we talk about Starbase 80?
Yeah, so...
is that the best way to say that?
I don't know, because it has the exclamation point too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You don't get this kind of punctuation very often in episode names.
Yeah, this is really throwing me, man. I think we should just cancel the whole thing. Just too much.
Well, I mean, they're way ahead of you. Yeah. After this season, it's all gone.
Oh man,
About that.
Yeah. This is the midway point. I said I was okay with this, but with every episode, it hits harder.
I know. Tragic. But let's talk about Starbase 80. The Paramount Plus episode description reads, Ransom uses too much disinfectant gel, while Mariner gets paranoid about curses. And really, are either of these statements factual?
Ransom
uses the exact right amount of disinfectant gel.
Oh my god, he likes to lather it on. Oh, jeez, such a great scene. But the best part is he's carrying it with him through the entire episode, which is just hilarious.
I know, so funny.
Oh, such a great bit.
I'm going to get ahead of ourselves here a little bit, but I love how he puts it under his nose like a Vicks or something.
Yes, so good.
Clear the airways. It's pretty classic.
Hilarious.
But then that is not true. And then Mariner getting paranoid about curses, also not true because it's not a curse.
Well, I mean, she was paranoid about curses. You don't have to... Something doesn't have to be real for you to be paranoid about it.
That's true. That's true. I stand corrected. But I think this is actually one of the more solid Paramount Plus episode descriptions we've had this season so far.
Yeah, it's definitely more relevant to the episode than previous ones. But
I'm just gonna always think about Tendy Pirates.
Oh my god, yeah.
As one of the
that's like a description that we would give. So bad.
I know.
Bad.
But shall we jump right into the episode discussion here? There's a lot going on here.
Let's do it. What are we starting with? We starting with the.
Well, I want to talk about the season meta joke first. The Boimler beard.
Dude,
how do you feel about it's coming along here?
Fantastic.
It's got the full stash now.
He looks so ridiculous. Yeah. It's great. But I love the fact that we've seen again scenes from this episode in the trailer, and they edited out the beard. It was the best kept secret. It's hilarious.
Can you imagine you're in marketing and you're trying to pass the budget for a redesign of the character face? Be like, no, guys. It's marketing. They can't know. They have to save the joke.
It has to be a secret.
And somebody was green rubber stamp that. Yeah. So good for them for pushing that through. Whoever did that, great work. I think how long until the beard looks not awkward? Do you think next episode?
I think we got a couple more episodes out of this gag at least.
Well, obviously, yeah. But how long until it looks not terrible though?
Never. I don't know. That would be hilarious if in the final episode he can't grow a proper beard and it turns out that alternate Boimler, that's a fake beard he's wearing. That would have been hilarious.
That would be amazing. We may get there. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's the good answer to that at the end of that joke. It'd be good.
Yeah. But not going to happen though. We're always wrong about these sorts of things.
Yeah, we absolutely are. But also, guess who's missing from this episode?
Yeah, you mentioned that. No
Your favorite
T'Lyn.
Character.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've trashed on T'Lyn a lot through the seasons, but she has grown on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so weird that she's not in this episode at all. Like, this is an episode that really could have used a science-y person.
Yeah. She's not even one of the randos that get turned into zombies.
Really, I didn't go looking that closely at all the scenes to see if she was in the background, but...
Yeah. Not that I spotted, at least.
Yep.
So. Completely absent.
You know what else was absent from this episode?
What?
The meta plot for this season. Did you notice that? No reference to it.
Yeah, there's... Yeah.
I mean,
we know of, at least. We still don't know what the
I
meta
guess
plot is.
technically, Captain Freeman references it when she talks about, her alternate being sent to Starbase 80.
Right.
But still,
That's
I mean,
true.
not really, that's not really a good reference to the meta plot.
No.
I don't know. It's weird.
No. Yeah, we'll see if anything becomes relevant by the end. But you're right. I think, as of right now, it doesn't look like anything made it.
Yeah, very weird.
But let's pop right into the little exposition at the beginning of the episode. I love the Starfleet wetsuits, by the way. I know we saw them in the trailer, but I love the designs of these. I love that they have the department colors on them. And I love the fact that all of the bridge officers are wearing them on the bridge when they all get summoned to the bridge and there's puddles and stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
great.
just utterly soaked. It's a good thing it's not a TNG style bridge, and now the carpet isn't ruined,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because they get to the bridge, and it's only, barns and shacks that are there in regular uniforms.
Yeah.
With just nobody on duty. It seemed like they were on a mission of some variety. You think they would have had a fully staffed bridge. What's going on here, guys?
I know. Not sure. My favorite part about that is because when they introduced Starbase 80, and it's showing the view screen infographic, and, there's, this gasp, and, there's a guy that you just hear his voice. He says, "Damn, Starbase 80." But then you get the shot of the bridge, and there's nobody on the bridge
that
making
matches that voice.
voice.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Pretty funny.
Fantastic.
I thought that was classic. Also, I wonder if it's relevant to the plot, but when the Warp Core 4 are trying to get out of their wetsuits, they've all taken off their comm badges, and they're all, lined up on a table in front of them. And assuming that is a nod to the plot later, I think it's a nice little touch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it that way, but it definitely makes sense why they didn't get infected initially. But
right,
yeah, because the whole crew was infected right away, except for the people who went over to Starbase 80. I don't know, man.
Right,
I feel like you're stretching.
It's a disinfecting gel. It could be.
Yeah, we don't know how
if
long
it is
were they
true,
in
it's a nice little
Decon.
nod.
That's the good question.
Yeah. How about Captain Freeman? The reference to Captain Freeman's scatting.
Oh my God!
A scatting battle this time.
Yeah, she was going to host a scat battle. That is hilarious.
First annual. I love when something's always called a first annual, which you have no idea.
Yeah,
if there's going to be.
It's not annual yet, guys. Give it a few years. See if anybody's on board. Oh man, I love though that it just it portrays Starfleet captains as huge dorks too. I love it.
I love it too. It's great. But let's talk into more detail about Starbase 80 itself. First of all, this is not the first time we've seen these exterior shots of a huge space object. The last one was the cruise ship, I think.
Oh yeah, they've been doing a lot of exterior space shots, but we haven't seen Starbase 80 before, right?
I don't think so. No, this is the first time. Why is it so big? Why is it so huge? Does it need to be that big?
Yeah, well, it's a starbase, man. It's there to service fleets and, have junk for fuel, and I don't know, man. But it is really big, and it does this thing, though, that I hate, is it spins. It doesn't need to spin, guys.
Oh.
Starbases don't need to spin if you've got artificial gravity, people. It's a waste of energy.
Are you sure? Even in the TOS era?
Even in the TOS era, people, don't make it spin. Killing me here.
Maybe it's just started spinning and they just haven't had the power to correct the spin.
It's hilarious.
So just stuck like that now.
Yeah, just over time, just little venting of atmosphere here and there from leaks.
Yeah.
And now the Spartan
just started the spin.
Yeah, it just started to spin, and they can't stop it. Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Judging by the quality of their engineers, I would not be surprised if something like that
God,
was
yeah.
the
Are we
case.
going to jump over to their engineer? I got some words about this
Maybe
guy.
we should. Yeah.
So first off, he's referred to as a chief, which, I mean, okay. Does that mean he's like O'Brien, like a non-com? But then you raise the question, because he has no rank engineer. He's definitely not O'Brien. Right. He's like the anti-O'Brien, right? He just
definitely
can't fix anything. It's just, They're both in the same situation on these horribly outdated star bases. But O'Brien's like, oh yeah, I got some gum and wire, and I'm gonna make this anti-gravity device turn right on, and we'll be generating atmosphere for days. And this guy's all like, yeah, I can't get the I can't get this leak fixed. And it's not a leak. It's literally just your freaking air processor is wired wrong. And it's not even like wired. It's just things aren't plugged in. Like, this dude is the worst engineer ever. Oh my God.
Yeah, Captain Freeman just completely shows him up in like 10 seconds.
And at first you're like, oh, when she's doing the whole, what do you call it? Whatever with the circuits. And it's like, oh, she's just able to scan and figure out what to do, right? It's all the device. Mm-hmm. But no, it's just everything this guy is incapable of doing.
Can you imagine the chief engineer of a starbase can't get a modern tricorder? Just not even one.
No, not one.
He's one guy and he can't even
But here's
get
the
one.
thing. I don't think it would help him. He seems really, really incompetent.
Yeah, he probably, that's probably part of the reason that caused the whole starbase rotation. He blew out an airlock with it, and now it's gone.
Oh, my God. So dumb.
But what else about Starbase C? Oh, the establishing shots. I like the little horror riff that plays every time in the first few establishing shots. And I feel like the first one or two are straight out of, I'm not sure if it's motion picture or Wrath of Khan, like one of like the spooky space
the
shots.
Ominous background music.
Yeah.
So good. And this is, it's supposed to be a straight up horror episode. It's, the zombie episode. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, these zombies are very non-threatening.
Why are they, sometimes, let's talk about the zombies a little bit, because I have thoughts about those. Because apparently they're out to be like the licks, the fingers and the tongues of this entity. But why do they, I think Teddy, the Vulcan, his little unofficial name is Teddy. They spot him and he kind of does like the hiss. And they're all like, whoa, but like, why are they upset because they're interrupting the licking, or?
No idea.
What's going on there?
No, the zombies make no sense in this episode. No. And I love that, like, there's scenes where, like, people are getting dragged away by the zombies, and it's like, that's just like a normal guy. Just, like, kick him and run away. Like, like, when it's a horde of them, yeah, but, like, there's one scene where a guy's getting dragged away, and it's just one guy dragging him away, and you're like...
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Starbase 80, man. These people are the worst.
but like this Starbase, I love what they've done here. It's clearly a TOS era construction, right? But it's had zero upgrades since then. The most upgrades they've had is installing a decon chamber and Enterprise era uniforms.
Well, but even that's not even an upgrade, because Enterprise era is before TOS era, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but the weird thing is, so like the uniforms, the Enterprise era uniforms aren't exactly Enterprise era uniforms, right? They're close, but they're slightly different. They have fewer pockets, and the piping on them, it's like especially the commander with the gold, it's actually gold. It's not the yellow like from the episode from Enterprise. It's so weird, right? It's almost
strange.
And the rank pips, were they round in Enterprise? I could have sworn they were square.
No, they were rectangular.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a new riff on them, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny though. When I saw the people in the Ent uniforms, I was like, "What's going on here?" We've seen people from Starbase 80. They don't wear Enterprise era uniforms. But we do see...
They wore old TNG.
Well, like...
TNG era uniforms, right?
No, it was like this weird yellow, nasty uniform they wore. But we actually see people in the background in this episode wearing those uniforms, right? Most of the crew isn't wearing the Ent era uniforms. They're wearing those yellow ones.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Yeah, which I don't even think those are supposed to be uniforms. I just think they're random jumpsuits that they got at like a surplus store or something. It's hilarious.
Which we do see, of course, on the
oh my god, the surplus store.
They're just buying it all secondhand.
Awful.
Where's the funding going on here? Just terrible.
Awful.
But I love that a lot of the interior is actually mall style, which I assume is supposed to lean into the whole zombie motif with the whole Day of the Dead reference going on there. Did you get that as well?
Could be. I don't know. I'm not sure that's what they were going for, but it might have been.
Why a mall with a porn store in there? Did you catch that?
I noticed that's immediately what you went to, right? Tons of stores, right? And you immediately are like, ooh, there's a porn store.
Hey, who knows what Akamarian porn is like?
Dude,
right?
I was stuck on
There's no way to know.
the Star Trek memorabilia shop.
Yeah, so, like, that's also good.
Is it a memorabilia shop? Or, because, like, when they ask where they get the stuff, they're like, oh, yeah, it's all from dead men, right?
Right.
Like, the implication is that they got all of this junk. Did they kill these people and take their stuff? But I don't know if you noticed.
Like hundreds of years ago, or?
I don't know if you noticed in the background, there's just a giant pile of red shirts. TOS era red shirts. Oh, it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing is just like, I don't know. I gotta assume it's like an army surplus place. But yeah, it's all old stuff, right? It's very little. I think there's some early TNG, but after that you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Because they actually reference feeding uniforms back into the replicators at one point, right?
Right.
So, like, that's probably why they don't have any modern stuff. Starfleet just started throwing stuff back into the replicator. Yeah.
I want to think that the Akamarian is, like, actually the quartermaster for the station, and they've just, like, it's part of the diplomatic treaty is they, like, the Akamarian has to be the quartermaster, and then you have to just contract with them to get anything.
Yeah, so
and that's part of the reason why it's so
funny
terrible.
that the Akamarians are, like, half of the station. But what's really funny about that is, in the episode those guys are from, right? It's not all Akamarians are, roving gangs. They have, like, a civilization going on, right?
Yeah.
They're just
totally focused on it here.
They're just a little tribal. These are all the uncivilized dudes who chose to leave their homeworld and just take to, living the starways. Like, what led to this that a bunch of random roamers, made a treaty with Starfleet where they get half of a Starfleet starbase? Like, that poor diplomat, that he is not getting any choice positions anytime soon. Like, what did they even have to
he's been
offer?
Dead for 200 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know how long the Akamarians have been on the station, though. For all we know, this is a recent development.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Akamarians, by the way, you gotta get the citation for that. That's from the Next Gen episode, The Vengeance Factor.
Yes.
Where, like you said, they're mainly roving gangs and whatnot.
Yep.
Did you see the restaurant in the background called Parthas?
Okay.
It's like a veggie or something.
What is that a
veggie.
reference to?
I think it's like a one-word reference that shows up in that episode.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
They've just made it like it's like calling a restaurant like Carrot.
Huh. That's weird. The big thing I noticed though was, did you see Knobs in the background?
Yes.
The shop with looks like the green spray painted sign, and it looked like it's like a music shop or something.
Oh,
and not only does it look like a music shop, because there's like a guitar on the wall, and it looks like they have racks of like records, like of all things. Super weird.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, old tech. It's retro cool, like Knox says in the episode.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, shall we move on to talk about the A plot then?
There's an A plot, right? Let's focus on that. So the A plot, obviously is about the famous chunky sauce.
There is chunky sauce in the A plot. That's true.
It's famous.
Of course, obviously, as long as you don't refrigerate it, that's how you know it's legit.
Oh my god, so awful. Yes. So let's talk about the real A plot.
Yes. So the Warp Core 4 is their quest to get the grav plating schematics, and when all the zombie plot develops during that.
Yes.
But my main question here is so Mariner. Maybe you can shed some light on this. So Mariner was transferred to Starbase 80. She was there for a while.
And somehow met nobody. Doesn't know anybody on this Starbase. Like,
zero people.
What the hell, Mariner? That's like...
What was she doing the whole time?
Yeah, like, what was she doing? Or is she just that unfriendly that she literally never made any acquaintances?
I don't know. She doesn't know anybody's name. She doesn't know where anything is.
She didn't even know the commander.
She knows some about it.
She didn't know the
I don't
doctor.
think so, yeah.
Like, you think you would have a physical when you report to, like, a new posting. As a matter of fact, I think that may be, like, standard, right? Didn't we see that in Voyager, I want to say?
Yeah, I think we've seen that.
So what was Mariner doing? Did she just, like, set foot on the Starbase and immediately quit? Couldn't have been, though, because she mentions her time there. She had to have spent... Nah.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, Mariner. Jesus, get it together. Get it together.
And the doctor there is, like, the only competent person on Starbase 80.
I thought Chad was really competent. Did he not?
Chad.
Dude, everybody seemed to love his corn dogs. Like, they're eating them all over the station.
Everyone did.
Dude knows.
I know.
Dude knows how to make a corn dog. Apparently,
I love that's the only food we see. Like, it's a huge station. There must be like hundreds, if not thousands, of food stands throughout that station. But no, we get the corn dog, dude.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's funny.
Yeah, what's your problem with corn dogs, dude? Why you got to be hating?
I love corn dogs. What's your ideal corn dog topping? Condiment.
Topping? Dude, just straight corn dog, dude. You got to take those things as they are.
Just plain.
Yeah,
just dry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're
Dogs are like people. You got to take them as they are.
I'm glad we had this discussion.
Anyways, back on topic of things not corn dog related.
Let's see. Oh, so the commander of the station, so Cassie Knox is her name.
Yes.
She introduces herself as a diplomatic liaison, but is she actually the station commander as well?
Well, I mean, she records
kind of
her log as the commander, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's both. She's both the diplomat and station. I wonder why she didn't just renegotiate the treaty with the Akamarians. I guess she doesn't have the authority.
Hey, for all we know, she did negotiate that treaty.
She's a Lorian after all. She's been around for a while.
30 years apparently.
So it's interesting. There haven't been that many Elorians in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Guinan's the big one, obviously. I think DS9 just had the one mention of the con man Elorian, if you recall that.
And then there was from Generations, what was his name? Toblerone Soren?
Soren, yep, he was on as well. But yeah, kind of neat that the first one we've seen in quite a while. And she knows how to fight just because she pays attention.
Yeah, it's also she's a young one too, right? Usually when we see them, they're all super old, but no, apparently they're still out there making more Elorians. I love that bit.
Repopulate that species.
A 30-year-old Elorian is just a regular person. Such a great
Obviously
bit.
not if she knows how to be a ninja.
Well, I mean,
by observing.
I feel like you can be a pretty good fighter by the age of 30, you know.
That's true. Yeah, good point. But then, of course, the zombies break loose. We talked about this a little bit already. We get a couple of the background Cerritos characters to appear. We get Nurse Westlake. We haven't seen him in a while.
Oh yeah.
And a bunch of the Teddy I mentioned already. They all get to pop out of the doors with the glowing eyes and ominously lick everything, I guess.
Yeah, there's none. Well, I mean, you see tons of the background characters, even people we haven't seen in a while. What's his name from the red shirts is on top of the zombie pile that's blocking the hall.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Great bits, I guess.
You're really selling it.
I don't know, man. The zombies, like, I get it. It's funny, the whole, like, licking zombies. But, I mean, it just kind of gets old, you know? It's there's only so much you can do.
They've already done zombies, though.
Well, yeah.
They did zombies in episode 1.
Yeah, right? You know what? What's the deal, though? Because in that one, weren't they, like, vomiting in each other's mouths? Like,
they were.
Yeah, yes. Lower Decks just likes gross zombies, I guess. Can't just have normal zombies.
Yeah, no, these are licking, touching zombies. But back to the doctor for a second. I love how his main quality is that he's British.
He's British.
And they even rub that in with the post-haste pip-pip.
Oh, my God.
So good.
As they distract from the fact that he was infected by a Tarchanan parasite. But, like,
I know.
That's the other thing. In that episode, was it Identity Crisis? Geordi gets infected.
Yeah.
Not just Geordi, but the girl he was creeping on that episode. If you don't know, Identity Crisis is another Geordi creeps on somebody episode. Because apparently, if you go back and watch TNG, that was Geordi's main trait. He was a creeper.
Yeah.
But they both get turned back to normal, whereas this guy is still like half Tarchanan. What's that about?
He's stuck here forever. Maybe he just really thinks it's barely noticeable. It's not worth the therapy to get it turned back to normal.
I'm going to assume that Starbase 80, whoever was the doctor before him, treated him and was just a terrible doctor. That's what I'm going to assume. Although I guess he really doesn't do much doctoring in this episode, right?
No.
He just scans things and says, I can't find anything. And he solves the problem through percussive maintenance, you know?
He does seem like the most competent, though, so I got to give him at least a little bit of credit there.
You know what? I don't know. They all seem, not all, but, I mean, obviously, there's Jabowski, who's, Jesus Christ, dude, get it together. But everybody else seems about on the same level, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But that brings me to the Knox sells this vision of Starbase 80 where it's like the place of second chances.
Yeah.
Do you buy that?
No, not at all.
I mean,
do we know anybody who's come back from Starbase 80?
Just Mariner, that's it, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, none of these people seem very competent. None of these people feel like, oh yeah, I've had a little bit of a misstep and I'm working my way back. No, dude, you got a doctor who doesn't realize he's half monster. You got an engineer who can't fix anything. Yeah, although I guess Nox seemed fairly competent to me. Like, she figured out what was going on and, had a good fight scene. I don't think she did anything outwardly stupid.
No. Yeah, I really got to question the notion of it exists to give people a second chance, because I feel like it just kind of worked out for Mariner because the entire premise that got her sent there turned out to be invalid. Whereas, like, everyone else, if they screw up or get sent there, like, maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. Mariner just buys into it so fast, but I'm just kind of like, it's not really, is that really what Starbase 80 is all about? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you would have the reputation Starbase 80 has if you were all about second chances. I call bullshit on that whole meme. But, the other big thing about that is, what purpose does Starbase 80 really serve? And I'm not talking about the whole second chances nonsense. Like, this is some broken down, janky Starbase. Why is it there? Like, what purpose? I'm assuming it's somewhere near Akamar, but, like, is this like they don't see Akamar as enough of a threat? So they just don't do anything with the Starbase along the Akamarian border or whatever? Like, what's the deal here, people?
Great question. And it's enough to have the Starbase, but not enough to fund it.
Exactly. I suspect that the purpose of this Starbase and this episode as a whole is to be a backdoor pilot.
What? In what way?
I think that we're going to get a Starbase 80 show. Featuring Nox, the Doc, and Chad as, the frontliners. They're going to be the new Warp Core 4, only they're going to be... Starbase 80 is going to be the animated era's Deep Space Nine.
Wow. You got some severe hopium going on right there. Will Chad, change whatever food he has in his food stand every week or something?
You know what? No, I think Chad is going to have the whole Cisco thing going on, where he's just like a competent officer, but he also just happens to be a Creole chef for the funds. Only not a Creole chef, a corn dog maker.
Yeah. He's all dumping the dogs in the frying grease.
And he's got he'll have special recipes and different corn in the batter.
I love that.
Yeah.
What will the show be called? Star Trek Chad, maybe?
No, it'll be Star Trek Starbase 80, dude.
Oh, okay.
Just like you had Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Now it's Starbase 80.
Okay.
And their whole meta arc will be about a race of, I don't know, genetically engineered randos who have no real purpose and are ran by, I don't know, people who don't move. Like, that's their whole thing. Because we had shapeshifters in Deep Space Nine, and the worst possible end of a spectrum with shapeshifters is they're just wooden blocks as their main enemy. I don't know. Starbase 80, dude.
I thought you were going to go to the anaphasic ghosts would be the main villain or something.
No, because that's
grown up versions of those.
Oh my god, that
you got to think
little...
does the one that the zombied everyone is the older version, like the Dr. Crusher sex lamp type?
No, he's the younger version, right? His name is Clem, and he's
yeah. So are the older ones the sex lamp ones, like the Dr. Crusher sex lamp?
I have no idea how their society or biology works, and frankly, I don't think I want to know. You go from licking everything in sight to banging everything in sight. I feel like there's a more even approach these guys could be taking to exploring the universe, It's funny, we made it through this whole episode that has this anaphasic thing as its antagonist, and there's no sex jokes. Not a single Sub Rosa reference. Very surprising. I know. And I'm okay with that. I mean, the more we forget that episode existed. I think, though, they already mentioned the sex ghost previously in the series. I think they have, yeah. But now we actually have a literal anaphasic alien, and there's no sex jokes. What's going on? There's only so much time, and they didn't have room to fit that joke in. I guess so. I guess that's what happened.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention about this plot. How do you feel about the self-destruct getting activated by rolling your face on the console?
I gotta believe that somebody else activated the self-destruct, and Phillips was just like turning it on and off after it had already been activated.
He's like pressing pause.
There's no way that, you could just accidentally touch a button and the ship blows up,
That's the implication.
That's not the implication. There had to be more going on. Mariner was able to shut it off from the captain's chair, so
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, anyone can do it, I guess.
Yeah.
And anyone just runs up onto the bridge and presses the stop button.
Well, I mean, I assume that's where the self-destruct had been activated from, and then Phillips was at the console, like you said, pausing and restarting.
A good bit, no matter how you slice it. Anything else you got on the A plot before we move on to the B plot, which we've actually talked about quite a bit already?
Oh, yeah, let's get back to the B plot. There's a lot that I need to discuss here.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, this one is about Captain Freeman and Ransom. Their quest to actually acquire the nav processor because they, of course, think that the Cerritos needs one. And, of course, they run into Gene.
They think the Cerritos needs one? Like, the implication is that it doesn't actually need one? They were fine without it?
Yeah, well, they don't know about the anaphasic organism or whatever. They have no idea. It gets fixed by the end. But, yeah, they run into Gene, and, of course, he's a terrible engineer and all that.
Yeah, the Gene gag was pretty dang good. I love that Gene wears the Scotty movie era vest.
Yeah, it's the Scotty vest.
That was fantastic. I love that.
So classic.
And I do kind of wonder, though, because he is portrayed as supremely incompetent, right? I wonder how much of that is him just getting other people to do his work. He's not actually that incompetent. He's just super lazy. I get
the sense it's a mix of both. Did you notice in the arcade when they go to visit him in the arcade, he's playing this arcade game where you fight a bunch of like refit Connies with a Mogai.
Yes,
the Nemesis Warbird.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
It's funny. The graphic style is the same graphic style, only this one's top view. But the one in the previous episode that what was his name? Malor was playing, Ma's brother, is that same sort of style graphics. That was pretty ridiculous, and it's just such a retro style of game too for all the people in the future to be playing.
We're getting back-to-back episodes with weird retro arcade games in there.
Did you notice the other arcade games that are in there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones in there. There's a Ferengi one, right?
Fortune, and then there's the Captain's Chair, and you can't tell anything about those. None of those, there's no gameplay visuals.
You just see the name of it.
But there's Cardboard Chaos, and you actually see the screen.
What is that?
It's a fighting game, and the combatants is fire and a cardboard box.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
That is the most lopsided battle ever. Oh, it's so funny. I desperately want this game to be a real thing now.
You just light cardboard boxes on fire.
There's got to be other fighters. It can't just be a cardboard box and fire. But and they have faces on them. The fire and the cardboard box.
No.
Oh, so ridiculous.
Amazing.
Oh my god,
that was great. Yeah, the whole arcade setting was pretty well made. I love that scene. But how about them having to take care of the bats at the end there?
So Pyrithian bats. I think these first showed up in Enterprise. Because Phlox, he kept one in his menagerie, remember?
Right.
And I don't remember. There was something... I felt like it was always sick, or it didn't like space travel or something. It came up.
Right.
I think it may have even gotten loose in Medbay in Enterprise.
Sounds familiar.
But they also showed up before in Lower Decks, because there was one loose in the room when they were calling to try and get Mariner back, right? And somebody in the background is chasing a Pyrithian bat. But apparently,
that's a great callback.
Yeah, so we already knew they were on Starbase 80. I love that they stuck with that gag. But apparently, you could also milk them because Tendi offers her sister Pyrithian bat milk when Tendi thinks that her sister is pregnant.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, these bats are storied.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of leads into you're they're little tiny creatures. How are you milking them? And then at the end, you don't see it, you see the face of the giant bat hiding in the dark.
Yeah.
Apparently mauls the captain.
I was gonna say, is she dead? Like, are we gonna? Is it just a gag at the end of the episode, or are we gonna come in next time and she's relegated to Starbase 80, for medical recovery?
I would love. Oh my god, can you imagine if that's like why they're all the alt crew is like, oh, she's on Starbase 80. And she's on Starbase 80, and they're, like, upset about it, not because they're ashamed to talk about it, but because she was badly injured, and they don't like to think about it. That would be hilarious.
That would be an awesome joke. Yeah,
oh my god.
Great. I hope that happens. What else about the B-plot stood out to you? Is it even possible to climb 30 flights of stairs without dying?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're in shape.
I mean, that's not me.
Clearly our boy Ransom is,
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
Having a great time.
I start to get tired around 3 or 4, so I can't speak to it. Definitely not me. I'm like, okay, Cerritos, can you transport me? I am not taking the stairs, people.
Yeah, good gag regardless. Anything else about the B plot you want to call out, or?
Not really. I do have one thing. It's not just the B plot though. It's the A and B plot, and it's the kickoff of the whole episode when, Matt and what's the other one's name? I can't remember. The whales, right?
The other beluga.
Belugas.
Mm-hmm.
How come whenever they're talking, all we hear is squeaks? Why aren't they translated into normal speech?
Good question.
And why does everybody understand them if they're not getting translated? Do they all just speak Beluga? I don't get it.
Great question.
Oh my god, this is some
Star
Wars droid level nonsense going on here.
It absolutely is. I mean, there's no way. I mean, the obvious explanation is the out of universe one, but I really want to know why in universe. Maybe everyone just kind of knows. Ever since the whales showed up in Voyage Home, it's kind of a required course at the Academy, and we as the viewer just get the subtitles as a courtesy.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. It's awful. I don't know what they're thinking.
What was your take on this episode as a whole? I kind of like this one. It's we get the backstory, and
I kind of was trashing on the whole zombie thing.
Yeah,
and it's overdone. But overall, the episode was really fun. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Even on the rewatch where I was looking for details, it was still just very enjoyable. It's actually hard to pay attention to the details because it's
so
really
fun.
Really fun episode.
Fun locations, fun jokes. Yeah. I got to agree that, I mean, we're poking fun at the logic holes, but I mean, ultimately, super fun episode, fun location, great art.
Yeah. Message was a little dumb. It's a place for second chances, but
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to do something with that. Maybe that's going to be some part of the overall theme of this season. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's possible. Yeah, otherwise, I just, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see. Like you said, we're halfway through the season. I want to see what else was coming up. And I also want to see, of course, the main reason I'm watching is the state of Boimler's beard. I want to see how that could possibly look 6/10 complete or 7/10 complete.
Oh, my God. Boimler's beard. It's got alliteration going on.
That's
awful.
You mean amazing?
No, horrible.
I think that's all we've got for this episode, right? I mean, it's fun. It's a short, fun one.
By Boimler's beard, I think we've come to the end of our episode. Jesus. For the first time...
By 7/10 of Boimler's beard.
I actually still have some drink in my cup, but I'm still calling it because Boimler's beard, man. Oh, that's going to ruin me. I just know it. It's such a ridiculous phrase.
It is.
But, I mean, we are going to call it, and... we'll be back next week for another episode. But in the meantime, you can swing on over to Blue Sky. That's lowerdorks.bsky.social. You can catch us there. Or if you're feeling down and out, you can find a place to give you a second chance. No, not Starbase 80. I'm talking Stavros' house. He always welcomes guests and will help you get back on your feet.
Yeah, just don't mind the lice.